Let's talk a little bit about BYU. It's been a couple weeks since we talked about our Cougars out there.
What have they been up to, man? What are they getting into?
No, they've had some drama. We didn't really address this or not, but we'll talk about quarterback, maybe just holistically for a minute. We'll start with good news first before we upset everybody. Is BYU about to land a 5-star quarterback? Let's not bury the lead here.
I think they're about to do it. I think they're about to land one of the best recruits in Big 12 history. Ryder Lyons, highly touted 5-star quarterback, 2026 class. He's going to announce his commitment on June 24th. BYU is in a very strong, from what I'm hearing, a very strong position. Oregon is the primary competitor. I think it's those two schools. He's also visiting Utah, so don't rule out another Big 12 school. The Utes are in there. Here is where I am really leading BYU. Ryder Lyons is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, usually you'd be like, okay, the kid's Baptist, all right, he's Catholic. What's that going to have to do with his recruitment? Well, in this case, religion plays a huge part. His denomination plays a huge part. The LDS Church plays a massive part. Why? He is so committed that he plans to, according to sources, take a 1-year LDS mission after graduating high school and won't actually enroll into college until 2027. So this is going to back us up a little bit. And if you're Oregon, you're like, okay, clock's ticking. We need you. Can we wait? What do we get? If you're BYU, you're going, oh, yeah, some of our guys go 2 years. Like we're used to this. This is kind of what we do. And this isn't a situation where most Catholic kids want to play at Notre Dame or most Baptist kids want to play at Baylor. This is much different. The LDS Faith is tied so innately to its flagship university in BYU that the church and the university are connected, so intertwined that it's an honor as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to attend BYU or one of its many universities across this country. So with that, Ryder's dad, Tim Lyons, defensive back for, you guessed it, BYU. Familiarity and comfort is a huge part of this. NIL is a big part of this. I have heard that, this is, again, a quote from a source, massive NIL deal. Some have thrown out numbers like $10 to $12 million. That's crazy. Like Bryce Underwood deal at Michigan is estimated to be around there. So I think we're starting to pay that. Would BYU dole that out? I don't know. Do they have to dole that out? I'm not sure. Aaron Roderick, the offensive coordinator at BYU, to Kalani Sitake, this is a place that they're going to court the heck out of Ryder Lyons. And because of the family ties, because of the religious ties, because the NIL bank is right there for him with the Cougars, I think BYU, and more importantly to me and our entire league, the Big 12, will land the arguably best quarterback in this weird like 2026, 2027 situation.
This has nothing to do with the show. I'm going to say it anyway. I am ready for me and you to go head to head on some Liberty Baylor Baptist 5-star model, 5-star quarterback.
Yeah, why aren't the Baptists loyal?
I'm jealous as heck. Why aren't the 5-star Baptists getting called up real quick?
Why aren't the Presbyterians going to Presbyterian? Why aren't they doing it?
All that aside, how much of a game changer is this for BYU? Obviously the quarterback position being as important as it is. I mean, I can go with all the cliches, but does this just make them a national kind of recruiting power at this point where more guys may consider it? Or is it kind of the one-off scenario because he's Mormon? Or would there be a chance that you could recruit other really elite talent because of him going there?
I think Igor Demon, he would be considered that guy in basketball for me where you looked at BYU and said, oh no, they're not just, it's cute BYU. They're going to get the 2 or 3-star guy and turn them into a 5-star college athlete or a 5-star young man. They're going to go out and get the 4 and 5-star athlete, flip them or keep them into this 4 and 5-star young man, but have them be at the top of athletics because their entire roster is filled with those 4 and 5-star athletes. And it doesn't mean the development got any worse. Yeah, they're probably still taking some 2-stars and 3-stars from Logan and flipping them around and making them very good college football and college basketball players. But now they're also taking the 5-star kids and making them even better, maximizing their potential because that's all that BYU's done. They haven't had this deep bank, and it's been there, but it hasn't been utilized necessarily for sports in the way that it's being utilized right now. With the era of NIL, everything above table, BYU can flex their muscles monetarily, and they're doing that. So landing a recruit like this, one, again, huge for the Big 12, showcases this conference can still compete with the big dogs in recruiting and still land top talent because we have schools that are willing to play ball at the pro level of where college athletics sits. And for BYU, it proves once again, AJ DeBonce is another big name right there, that they can not only land the top talent in the country in basketball, but also football and any other sport they want to because they're committed to athletics in a way they've never been before. I want to reiterate, The way that BYU was viewed for so long, whether it be in independence or they were at a conference 2 decades ago, was, wow, look how cute, look how scrappy. They do a really good job of committing to faith and winning with what they have, even though what they have isn't that good. And wow, their entire roster is old. That's what we used to say. Now it's, oh, BYU is flexing the muscles of what NIL is able to give them, what the transfer portal can give them, and they're leaning on their faith as a vessel for their athletics as a vessel to help carry their faith across the world. We always say that the doorstep of your university is athletics. The doorstep for BYU, if that's athletics and BYU's ultimate mission is to save souls, then your athletics should be at the top of college sports. Because when it is, more people are looking at you. More people want to apply to you. More people know what BYU is and what it's about. I think it's a genius investment to go all in on 4- and 5-star guys that will lift this university to the top of the Big 12, the top of college sports. People all the time, they say to me, and I'm sure to you, why are you always talking about BYU? Because they are the biggest. I'm talking the biggest stock to bet on in the Big 12 if you want a return on investment. And I can't name another school. Texas Tech is close, but I can't name another school that right now can mirror what BYU is doing.
You're so right. When I was at Liberty, that was a big talking point, and obviously a different faith, somewhat in the same vein, but that was a big talking point. Hey, we want to do the right thing for our faith, and we want to, I mean, their tagline was always train champions for Christ. And that was a big thing they always wanted to do was, hey, we want to be the best at athletics so that more people learn about Liberty and come to our school. I mean, look at admission rates when, Florida State wins a title or Alabama wins a title and things like that. More people learn about this, and then more people learn about our faith. So, I mean, spot on, different faiths and different strategies, I'm sure, with it, but the same kind of mindset. Current BYU QB room, we'll talk about it for just a moment, and without getting too deep into everything going on, just thoughts on the Retzlaff situation and how that impacts BYU. I'm not asking you to opine on a court case or what, I don't know if you have inside sources on civil litigation that's going on, but just thoughts on how maybe that impacts BYU, thoughts around that QB room if worst case scenario comes about, and just give me your thoughts there. Yeah,
I think the QB room's in a decent spot. You didn't know who Jake Retzlaff was when he stepped up to become Jake Retzlaff and the starting quarterback of BYU. So if he doesn't play, it's not as though you'll see this complete, utter, awful dip in what BYU is able to put on the football field. Kind of what you saw with Utah last year when Cam Rising went down and they brought in they brought in Isaac Wilson, and Isaac Wilson was not very good at all. And I just don't think BYU is going to be in that spot because Utah relied on the quarterback position a ton. When you saw without Cam Rising how bad they were, they're saying, look, we're a quarterback away from being competitive. BYU, on the other hand, can say, hey, no Jake Retzlaff. If that is the case this fall, we'll be okay. We can still run the football effectively. We still have a solid enough wide receiver core, a good enough offensive line that if we base our entire game around the run, we're going to be okay. I'm not too worried about how the Cougars look going into next season. Will I pick them to win the Big 12 Conference? Hard to do right now. I need to see who they name as starting quarterback, again, if Retzlaff doesn't go this fall. And I also need to see how that guy plays in game 1 to game 3 before conference season opens up for the Cougars. And then past that, their schedule rolls out so easily that I would be surprised if they're not a game or two out of Arlington or in Arlington themselves.
It will be pretty fun to see them out of conference. I think they have a great shot to go 3-0.
Easily,
when you look at their schedule, right? You've got to play Stanford and ECU, but they're just more talented there. And then going to Colorado for, is that Retzlaff versus Juju Lewis? Is it Caden Salter? Speaking of Liberty BYU, there you go. I think that, their schedule gets pretty fun pretty quick.
Yep.